Yo, it's your boy Burnard, aka the Scarlet Spider, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I will be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye this week. Unfortunately, we do have to start this podcast off on a somber note. We have to give a rest in peace to Maggie Smith, who, a lot of us may know from, playing Professor McGonagall in Harry Potter films. But, she was in a lot of other things that, we've seen over the years. Like, one movie that I always watch at least once a year, Hook. She played Wendy. She was also in Sister Act. The show that everybody liked, including Happy Hogan, Downton Abbey. I think they also did 2 Downton Abbey movies. Let me double check that. Because the last time I checked, they did. They did one 2 years ago and one in 2019. She did the voice of Lady Blueberry in Sherlock Gnomes, which was the sequel to Romeo and Juliet. She was also in the second Nanny McPhee movie, Nanny McPhee Returns, Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood, the First Wives Club. Like I said before, Sister Act 1 and 2, she played Mother Superior. She was in a concert version of Romeo and Juliet. It was called Romeo Juliet. She played Rosaline. I'm just going over her filmography. Evil Under the Sun, The Missionary. She was in Death on the Nile. And let's see if she was also in any other TV shows. She was on the Carol Burnett Show, David Copperfield, All the King's Men. But yeah, she passed away at the age of 89 years old. At the time of this recording, no cause of death was given. But a few people who worked with her over the years spoke out on her character. So Whoopi Goldberg described her as a great woman and a brilliant actress. I still can't believe I was lucky enough to work with one of a kind. Daniel Radcliffe, who played Harry Potter, said, "I will always consider myself amazingly lucky to have been able to work with her. The word legend is overused, but it applies to anyone in our industry. But if it applies to anyone in our industry, it definitely applies to her." Emma Watson, who played Hermione Granger, said that she was real, honest, funny, and self-honoring. "Thank you for all your kindness. I'll miss you." Helen Mirren, who worked with her on a film called Gosford Park, said she compared her to Queen Elizabeth II, and she said, "Like the Queen, she has been a part of my life since I was a student, and she was an icon even then," and said that she was also one of the greatest actresses of the past century. A lot more people came out and praised her. So J.K. Rowling, Julian Fellows, who was the creator of Downton Abbey, Rupert Grint, Bonnie Wright, Hugh Bonneville, Viola Davis, Saoirse Ronan, Miriam Margolyes, Mia Farrow, Rob Lowe, and Paul McCartney. And King Charles III released a statement. He said, "As the curtain comes down on a national treasure, we join all those around the world in remembering with the fondness, admiration, and affection of her many great performances, and her warmth and wit that shone through both on and off the stage." So yeah, we definitely have to give a rest in peace to Maggie Smith. I might actually watch Sister Act tonight. I was thinking about Sister Act recently for some reason, because I was just thinking like that might have been like the only thing that Lauryn Hill acted in before and after the Fugees. I'd never bothered to actually double check, but we rest in peace, Maggie Smith. All right, so I actually have some news on the Lantern show that came out earlier this week. So Aaron Pierre and Stephen James are reportedly in the mix to play Jon Stewart in this show. I have no idea who Stephen James is, but Aaron Pierre is in the popular Netflix movie Rebel Ridge, which everybody is calling Black Reacher. And apparently Stephen James is in the film adaptation of The Piano Lesson, which is also going to Netflix, I believe. Let me double check this. He was in Race, If Beale Street Can Talk, 21 Bridges. He was on Homecoming. He's Canadian. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But, okay. So, he looks familiar, but I don't ever recall seeing him in anything. Like, I'm looking at his filmography. He played Jock number 1 in My Babysitter is a Vampire. What was this? This was a Disney show, right? With Vanessa Morgan. I'm thinking of whatever the Netflix movie was. He was on Shots Fired, which was on Fox. I believe that got canceled. Wasn't Sanaa Lathan in that? But he's in a movie coming out called War Machine that's not about Rhodey. Babes. Okay, I didn't see Babes yet. Yeah, I've never seen him in anything. He was in Selma. He played John Lewis. But yeah, like I said, Aaron Pierre, everyone knows from Rebel Ridge on Netflix. He was in Old, The Little Mermaid, Foe. Oh, no wonder he's British, of course. He's providing the voice of young Mufasa and Mufasa the Lion King. He is joining the cast of The Morning Show on Apple TV Plus. He was on Krypton. Yeah, so 2 people I've never seen anything with before. But yeah, they're in the running to play Jon Stewart. It was also rumored that Damson Idris was also on the list of possible Jon Stewarts, but due to a scheduling conflict, he could not join the show. And I believe it is now confirmed that Kyle Chandler will be playing Hal Jordan. And I'm like, is he actually confirmed? Because, I mean, the Hollywood Reporter is saying that he is set to star. I mean, I didn't see James Gunn post anything, congratulating him or anything like that. But I'm just like, why Kyle Chandler? And it's no, beef with Kyle Chandler as an actor. I like Kyle Chandler. I watched Early Edition as a child. For those of you who don't know, that was the show where he would get the next day's newspaper a day in advance, and like he had to like prevent all the troubles that would happen. So like, let's say like there was a orphanage that caught on fire, like on Broadway, well not Broadway, in Brooklyn. He would have to figure out a way to prevent said fire and save all the lives of the people on the show. But yeah, everybody knows him from Friday Night Lights. He was on Godzilla. He was in Godzilla vs. Kong, The Wolf of Wall Street, King Kong, The Day the Earth Stood Still, Super 8. I forgot he was in Super 8. He was in Game Night? Okay, I gotta go back and rewatch Game Night. But I'm just like, he's 59. And yes, I know I'm being ageist, but I'm just like, I would really prefer like a Hal Jordan to be like maybe in his late 30s, early 40s, and the Jon Stewart character to be in his late 20s, early 30s. So basically, if you guys don't remember, Lanterns is described as having like a true detective vibe, and it focuses on Jordan reluctantly mentoring a younger, he's mentoring Jon Stewart. So yeah, the story sees the 2 characters investigating an earthbound murder with larger implications. So I'm just glad that Josh Brolin passed on this, because I think Josh Brolin's in his late 60s. Oh no, he's actually younger than Kyle Chandler. He's 56. But I don't know how I feel about Josh Brolin also taking the role. I mean, Josh Brolin has done what, 3 comic book properties? Well, 4 if you want to include Men in Black, because Men in Black was originally a comic book. So he did Jonah Hex, Men in Black 3, Deadpool 2, and obviously, Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War, and Guardians of the Galaxy. That's Thanos. But I'm just like, I don't know. I would, like I said, it's just my personal preference, and I don't know how they're going to play it off, but they'll figure it out. All right, let's talk some movies real quick. and we're gonna talk about the I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot. So I think the last time I spoke to you guys about this, Camila Mendes stepped down from it because her being in the live action Masters of the Universe remake. But now it is confirmed that Freddie Prinze Jr. has joined the cast of this sequel. And they're doing the thing that Scream did where, it's not a reboot or a sequel. I don't remember what they called it, a requel or something like that, because it's a reboot and a sequel all in one. It's been a while since I've seen I Know What You Did Last Summer. Did he I don't remember if he lived or not. Apparently there was also a straight to video reboot called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, but no one cares about that. And I don't think this has anything to do with the TV series that was on Prime. I think this is just going to be like, the people from the original film franchise who lived in things of that nature. So maybe Sarah Michelle Gellar come back and Jennifer Love Hewitt. Only thing they really haven't included they really haven't revealed much about this movie. It's just that, to be out in theaters July 18th of next year, obviously, because, July is past this year. And it would be crazy to, I don't know. But let me see if I can actually find a, there really hasn't been an update on it. So Madeline Klein is still involved. Sarah Pidgeon, Tariq Winters, and Jonah Howard King are still in the movie, but so far out of the OGs it's still just Freddie Prinze Jr. So I don't know. Like I said, it's been a minute since I've watched the original. Let's talk about the PlayStation State of Play, shall we? So PlayStation had their September State of Play. Obviously they showed a sizzle reel of the PlayStation 5 Pro and announced the 30th anniversary edition, which is coming in a slim model or a pro model, both discless and standless. So that's what, an additional $110 if you want a complete PlayStation. They also announced a new Chroma collection of plates and controllers, and that would be in teal, indigo, and pearl. You can pre-order those on October 3rd. But let's talk about the games, because I didn't mention when the Pro 30th anniversary editions would be on sale, because it is already passed. So everything that was involved is already gone. So the PlayStation 30th anniversary controller and the regular DualSense and the what is it called, the DualSense Pro, DualSense Edge, and the PlayStation Portal, they're all gone. So you can look on eBay for the scalpers just ganking the prices up on that. So anyway, video game news. So they have announced a Astrobot DLC pack that will have 5 new online speedruns and 2 new bots for free, as well as alternate versions for Astro, having a Helldivers 2 suit and Stellar Blade. So for those of you who bought Astrobot, cool. I'm not one to play it just because it's not a game that really has any stakes. It's just like a nice fun platformer. It's something, it's really like kid friendly. So, and I play a lot of kid friendly games, but that ain't one of them. I got downloaded the is it the Astro Playroom or whatever that came with the that we got for free when the PS5 came out. It's cool, but no, it's just too kiddish. All right, so there was a adventure game that came out for the VR2 called The Midnight Walk that looked cool, and it was like, bro, it was like a very creepy game where you just have to watch the trailer, but it was just freaky. Hell Is Us, that one looked good. It was a post-apocalyptic game that pits players against faceless monsters while exploring old abandoned buildings and temples. And Rogue Factor developed this game that does not have a release date yet. Another VR2 game, Metro Awakening, which is actually set in the Metro franchise, and that will be coming out November 7th, 2025. Arc Aegis Chronicles. So this is a exploration action adventure game. that apparently also has multiplayer. It will be out sometime next year. A game that is in judicial hell, I guess. It's tied up in the court systems. They announced that it came out on the day of the state of play, and that was Power World, you know, the Pokemon ripoff with guns. So that's out now on the PS5. Lunar, which was a PS1 JRPG, they announced the Remastered Collection, which has Lunar Silver Star Complete and Lunar Eternal Blue. That will be coming out this upcoming spring. TMNT Shredder's Revenge, as you guys all know, I got the collector's edition from Limited Run Games. I will never buy anything from them ever again. They announced the DLC that came out for what was it called? The Radical Reptiles DLC. I think it's $3.99, and you pretty much only get 2 new characters and remix songs from the soundtrack. So you get Mondo Gecko and Mona Lisa. Sonic X Shadows Generations. So this game does come out on the 25th of October, which is weird because I thought it would have come out by now. It's just a remaster. But they announced some free DLC that will be coming out on December 12th, which is tied into Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And a bit of that is Shadow can be voiced by Keanu Reeves, so it looks like he did line work for the game. So I guess Keanu Reeves is getting into his video game bag now because, you know, Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk, providing voice work for Shadow. There was also a rumor that he's supposed to be doing another video game or something like that. Well, he's always been in the video games because The Matrix, The Path of Neo. All right. Fantasia Neo Dimension. This is a RPG from the original Final Fantasy creator, Hironobu Sakaguchi. This came out on Apple Arcade like sometime this year, and it will be out this December 5th actually. Dragon Age, which I don't think there's been like a Dragon Age game for a minute, but this is Dragon Age the Veilguard. This will be coming out on Halloween on the PS5. Alan Wake 2 has a new expansion called The Lake House. And in order to get this, you have to get the digital deluxe version DLC. So it's not sold separately, which I think is just messed up. Like, what if you don't want to play the Night Springs DLC and you just want to play this one? Like, stuff like that should be a la carte. Another PlayStation VR 2 game, Hitman World of Assassination, will be out this December. Now, something I played as a child. This is another remastered game that I never beat, and it might be because, you know, I want to say I was like 10 when the first 99, 13 when the first one came out. Apparently, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver is getting a remaster of the first 2 games. So the one that came out on PS1, I believe Soul Reaver 2 came out on the PS2. Those will be out December 10th. And I need to check to see what the price is, because your boy might get these, because I've been looking for a nice RPG to play, because I've just been basically holding off on playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Okay, can I get a price? Because they don't have a price on... Well, yeah, they do. This is Steam, so it's $30 on Steam. With the 10% discount, so $26.99, so $29.99. And since I have PlayStation Plus, I also get that 10% discount for $26.99. And who knows if there is a physical version of this, because like I said, physical media matters. All right. Anyway, Fear the Spotlight is a lo-fi retro PS1 looking horror game, which they showed a teaser of its Summer Game Fest, and this is the first game from Blumhouse Games, and that will be coming out October 22nd. Towers of Agatha. So this is a it's not a platformer, it's an open world game where you can explore, and it has online co-op. Just said that it comes out sometime this October. Lego Fortnite It's getting a split screen mode for, you know, people who want to play with people who live in their house. And they also announced a limited edition DualSense controller, and you can pre-order that on October 3rd. Dynasty Warriors Origins will be coming out January 27th. Monster Hunters Wilds will be coming out, unfortunately, on my birthday, February 28th next year. They just basically showed some more footage of Lego Horizon Adventures. Game comes out on November 14th, but pre-orders will be coming out on October 3rd. This was actually part of another story that I was gonna bring up. I was gonna bring up some more video game news, but I guess I can bundle it all here. Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. So they announced that they are remastering Horizon Zero Dawn to bring it up to the graphical par with Horizon Forbidden West, including 10 hours of re-recorded motion capture, which will be coming out on Halloween for PS5 and PC owners. If you own the original PS4 version of the game, you will be able to upgrade for $10. So that's cool and all, but Sony has decided to chime in and, you know, add some capitalism in their game, because the original Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition was only $20 on the PlayStation Store because it is considered a PlayStation hit. So the price of Horizon Zero Dawn has jumped from $19.99 to $39.99. So I'm gonna need y'all to justify that. And it looks like they also decided to sell the well, this might not be separate because, okay, no, the complete edition is still has the Frozen Wilds DLC, because if you go to the PlayStation Store, it says add-ons, and they're trying to say that the Frozen Wilds is $9.99, but that must be if you have the first the regular edition of Horizon Zero Dawn. But yeah, that's crazy that they did that. If you don't have it, I say probably at this point just wait to get remastered. You know what, let's actually see if Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered has a price, because I don't think they said anything about yeah, it just says that it's coming out October 31st. So $50. Just if you don't have the game, just wait so you can just get the full, you know, remastered version of the game, because that's ridiculous. It's like, yo, the game was $20 for like, I want to say like the past 7 years, and then Sony just quietly raised the price of it. It's fucked up. Stellar Blade is getting a DLC crossover with Nier Automata. Never played Nier Automata, but apparently it plays very similar to Stellar Blade. You play as a female protagonist doing a bunch of hacking and slash stuff, and you wear skimpy clothing. I mean, what more is there? So it is not a sequel, but it is a follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima, which I still need to beat. Sucker Punch, who has had a lot of franchises just basically die. So no Infamous in over a decade, no Sly Cooper in who knows how long. But anyway, they have a game coming out on the PS5 that's coming out sometime next year, which is called Ghost of Yutai. So like I said before, this is a follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima, which follows a Lady Ronin in a wicked mask as she cuts her way across northern Japan in 1603. And I do believe that was everything from the PlayStation State of Play. Like I said before, I'm just gonna bundle all the video game news here because I was going to save it for later. Why did I do that? Nope. We can put that here. So, Star Wars Outlaws. Ubisoft has finally admitted that it underperformed compared to internal expectations. It's just like, I don't really have that much faith in Ubisoft. Like I said, I haven't played a Ubisoft game since Watch Dogs 2. I think I actually said that last week. So it's just like, I mean, plus y'all like ganked everybody for like the DLC like crazy. And since Ubisoft wants to try to compete with people, Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was actually supposed to come out, I believe in November of this year, has been pushed back to Valentine's Day of next year. Why? So you guys can have a samurai game to come out around the same time as Sucker Punch Samurai game? Because I don't even think they gave a reason as to why they decided to do that. But if that was the legit reason, it's like, oh hey, you guys, we have a samurai game too. That's messed up. So, last bit of gaming news. This is something that every state needs to do, and the FCC actually needs to make this a federal law. So, shout out to Gavin Newsom, who I believe is the mayor of California, or is he the governor of California? Yeah, governor of California, Gavin Newsom. So, he has implemented a law in California that will force digital storefronts to tell players if they're buying a game or licensing it. So, basically, let's say you go on the PlayStation Store, Xbox Marketplace, Steam, Nintendo eShop, and you live in California. When you go to buy a game, they will let you know if you're actually purchasing it or licensing it. So, perfect example. I was actually arguing with somebody about this a few days ago. Deadpool. It's no longer listed on anywhere because it was a licensed game. It was a game that was made by Activision. That was obviously licensed because it's not a creator. It's not a studio-owned property. So they would have to list Deadpool as, licensed game as opposed to purchasing it. So Call of Duty, those are all games that you buy. Okay, Activision owns Call of Duty. Like I said before, anything that is licensed can be pulled from the store. And, technically all games can be pulled from the store if, said gaming company decides that, we don't want to sell this anymore. But that's very few and far between. But that is actually a nice thing to put out there in the world. But I'm going to take a break. Enjoy the ad for W. And I'll see y'all in a bit, okay? Go. This episode is brought to you by W. W gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task. And go to debbie.gg and use my promo code Angry Blerd 10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's debbie.gg with promo code Angry Blerd 10. All right, I'm back. Any of y'all ordered that Grandpa's dentures yet? I haven't, but like I said, I'm ordering it when I get paid at the end of the month. So things from my childhood that are making a comeback, and it is not Back to the Future. It is Robocop. So Amazon, who owns MGM, has said that they will be working on a Robocop TV series. And apparently Peter Ocko, who worked on a TV show called Lodge 49 and Moonhaven, will be a showrunner. And James Wan, who we all know from Aquaman and not Oculus, Insidious, will be one of the executive producers. The Conjuring, Malignant, but whatever. So yeah, I'm ready to check it out. I did not know James Wan was Australian, but yeah, it was reported that this is the log line according to Variety. A giant tech conglomerate collaborates with a local police department to introduce a technologically advanced officer to combat rising crime. A police officer who's part man, part machine, which is basically the plot of the first movie. But actually, Amazon listed Robocop on its top list of properties that they wanted to resurrect after the acquisition of MGM. Hopefully it's very violent. I've never heard of Peter Ocko before, but let me check out his filmography. He worked on The Office, beginning in the 7th season as a co-executive producer. Lodge 49, which was on AMC. Is this that show with the no, this is not what I'm thinking about. This was canceled after low ratings. Apparently Wyatt Russell was on this before he got the role as U.S. agent in the MCU. I'll see if I can find somewhere to stream this and check it out. But he wrote on the Weird Science TV show. Parker Lewis Can't Lose, Dead Like Me, and Pushing Daisies. Also Boston Legal. Yeah, I'll check it out. I mean, it's Robocop. I mean, as long as it doesn't turn into, Robocop 3. We're going to talk about some TV real quick. And we're going to talk about The Boys. So, Daveed Diggs, who, some of us may know from watching Snowpiercer, the TV show Blackish, where he played one of Rainbow's brother. He was also in Hamilton. He has joined the cast for the final season. I don't believe there was any word given on who he will be playing. Last time I checked, I didn't see anything. Yeah, it does not say. Yeah, character details are being kept on the rocks, but Diggs will appear in a series regular role in the Prime series. Shut up, I didn't say Siri, I said series. A lot of us may know him from, like I said, Snowpiercer, Hamilton. He's Blind Spotting. He was in Trolls, Soul, Zootopia, Wonder, the Little Mermaid, Blackish. Oh, he provided a voice in Ferdinand? Okay. I saw Ferdinand. I talked to my godson when he was still young and innocent. All right. We're just going to keep this in TV news, and then we're going to bring up some movie stuff. So Chucky got canceled. Literally. So for those of you who did not know, there's been a Chucky TV show on the air for the past 4 years. Okay. It was airing on both Sci-Fi and USA because both of those are owned by NBC Universal. Ran for 3 seasons. So Don Mancini, who was the franchise creator, was also the showrunner on this show. And he said, "I'm heartbroken over the news that Chucky won't be coming back for a 4th season, but I'm so grateful for the killer 3 years we have. I'd like to thank UPC, Sci-Fi, Peacock / Eat the Cat, all our awesome cast and Toronto-based crew, the best in the business, and finally to our amazing fans, a big bloody hug. Your incredible #Renew Chucky campaign really warmed Chucky's cold heart, and Chucky will return. He always comes back." So basically, when the news came out that it got canceled, he also made a tweet, actually, that said he'll be back. So, a lot of people actually spoke out on it. Jennifer Tilly thanked all the fans. Devin Sawa, who was also on the show, also thanked everybody. But I never got around to watching the show because I was oversaturated with all the stuff on the CW, and I don't know, I'll eventually get around to watching it. I believe it's all on Peacock now. But my boy Jared watched the show and he liked it. He was disappointed with this this last season, and it's not because of the show. It was because the show got caught up in everything from the writer's strike. They only showed 4 episodes of the show last year, and the final 4 episodes had they air in March. So I think that also may have been a factor into the show getting canceled. Unfortunately, it's messed up, but it happens. I think that might be one of the casualties from the strike. All right, let's get into our movie news. So the Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler vampire movie finally has a teaser and a name. It's called Sinners. The trailer dropped a few days ago on the 23rd, and honestly, it looks awesome. They really didn't show any vampires. They just kept it very ambiguous. So I forgot that he's playing twins. Michael B. Jordan's playing twin brothers who try to turn their troubled lives around by returning to their hometown for a fresh start. But unfortunately for them, however, they found out that they're coming back home to something far worse and far more deadly than anything they've ever seen before. So if you have not watched the trailer, check it out. I am going to post it on the Angry Blerd socials, so Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not paying for a blue check, so I can't post anything longer than a minute on Twitter. Fuck you, Elon. So don't forget that this movie stars Delroy Lindo, Wunmi Masoka, Jamie Lawson, Haley Steinfeld, Jack O'Connell, Omar Benson Miller, Lee Jun Lee, Lola Kirk, and that the movie will be coming out March 7th. But from the trailer, it was, like I said, they showed enough to like get me intrigued, but I was still like, this is kind of creepy. But You know, everyone's complaining about Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan only working together. Well, it's mainly them complaining about Michael B. Jordan only really working with Ryan Coogler, and I'm like, have y'all not seen Michael B. Jordan's filmography? He has worked with other directors, but those two work together well. Arnold Schwarzenegger did the same thing with James Cameron. So let's go ahead and pull up his filmography, okay? So we are going to start after Fruitvale Station. So Michael B. Jordan was in a movie called That Awkward Moment that was written and directed by Tom Gorkin. Fantastic Four, Josh Trank. Creed, Ryan Coogler. Black Panther, Ryan Coogler. Not counting Ken because that he was a producer and it was an extra. Well, he had a cameo. Creed 2 was directed by Stephen Capel Jr. Fahrenheit 451. Ramin Bahari. That movie was just bad. Just Mercy, which came out. Destin Daniel Cretton, you know, the guy who directed Shang-Chi. Without Remorse. This was directed by Stefano Solalima. A Journal for Jordan. Denzel Washington. Okay, obviously his cameo in Wakanda Forever. Creed 3, he directed. So, y'all just see what you want to see. Nobody 2 has wrapped up filming. So that's some good news. Because, you know, that movie was awesome. So the sooner it comes out, the better. And, you know, we can enjoy, you know, seeing, what was his name? Hutch, I want to say. I feel like his name was Hutch. Let me look up Bob Odenkirk's character. Yeah, I was right. Hutch Mansell. Get into some other shenanigans. But we'll find out when we find out. And that movie is still coming out on August 15th. And apparently Sharon Stone joined the cast. Did not see that one. And everyone's talking about, hey, let's do a crossover with John Wick. Chaz Stahelski said, maybe. Last bit of movie news. Some more DC stuff, but this time we're, like I said, talking about film. Bane and Deathstroke are getting a movie together. So this is coming out from the Hollywood Reporter. I didn't see anything that said this was you know, from a scooper. But they said that Bane and Deathstroke are being lassoed together for a movie in the James Gunn and Peter Safran DC-led Studios universe. And Matthew Orton, who is developing the script, also worked on Captain America Brave New World. There's no director on the project. So like, please don't turn this into like some kind of weird buddy quote cop movie where, you know, like these two are on a mission to kill somebody, or they come across like trying to kill the same person, because Bane isn't really an assassin. Bane is an anarchist, more or less. Is Bane an assassin? I don't think Bane has ever been an assassin in any type of lore. Yeah, according to Wikipedia, he's been a part of the Suicide Squad, the Secret Society of Villains, the League of Assassins. Okay, he was part of the League of Assassins. Yeah, I mean, okay. All right. Well, not much on this movie, but you know, whenever it comes out, it'll be out, and you know, we'll talk about it when it comes out. All right, guys. So I believe it is time for our good old-fashioned spoiler alert, and I believe I never talked about the infamous games. I mean, the Sucker Punch games. So Ghost of Tsushima, the Infamous franchise, and Sly Cooper. And we haven't had a Infamous game in a decade. Sly Cooper, the last one to come out was 2005. Come on, Sucker Punch, get it together. But yeah, let's talk about Agatha All Alone. Season 1, episode 5. I don't know why I keep saying season 1, because this is a mini-series. Through many miles of tricks and trials. Directed by Rachel Goldberg, and this episode is written by Cameron Squires. So we pick up right where we left off at the end of episode 2, with everybody on the road. Everyone's arguing with Agatha, while Mrs. Hart, who is really Shannon Davis, but Agatha keeps calling her Mrs. Hart because that's what her name was in Wanda's Hex. She tries to leave. She almost gets sucked into the ground. They all get her out, and they go to the end of the road, and they find a beach house. And in this beach house, they're given a riddle, and the riddle is something like, I don't remember the riddle, but basically the answer to the riddle was wine, and then they get hit with like a Saw level type of event. They all drink the wine except for Agatha and Teen, because he's a minor, so Agatha won't let him drink. And Agatha is actually showing some very maternal instincts towards this kid that, she locked up in a closet. Their faces all start to swell except for Agatha's, and they all start to go on a trip, a psychedelic trip, that showcases all their worst nightmares. So Alice sees her mother being tortured. Jennifer, Alice sees her mother telling her she'll never be good enough. Jennifer relives her binding. Lilia also relives her being excommunicated from her original coven, and Agatha sees the baby she gave up for the Darkhold. And Jennifer has to make a potion to save them all, because there's a timer going off and they'll all be poisoned in the next, they'll all be dead in the next half hour. We didn't see what Mrs. Davis played. Torment was, oh, never mind. Yes, we did. Well, we didn't see it. She discussed it. It was Wanda, her pleading with Wanda to let her husband out of the hex. So they all get these ingredients together, which also included the blood of the unpoisoned. So they take Teen's blood and put it in the cauldron, which is a sink. They all drink from it before time runs out, and they get hit with like an escape room type situation, because Agatha was freaking out earlier, and she was trying to break the glass window to get out of the beach house, since none of the doors had locks on them to exit. And so the house gets flooded. Their only way to escape is through an oven, and they all make it out, but apparently Mrs. Hart dies. That's literally how the episode ends. And Teen says that Sharon is dead, and Agatha's like, who the hell is Sharon? It was a good episode. Everyone knows now Teen's biggest secret. He can't reveal any details about himself because someone put a hex on him. Well, they put a sigil on him, and everyone looked at Wanda. She's like, I ain't do it, but you also didn't tell them that this was the situation. So okay, we'll see where we go from there. But I'm just like, come on, man. Is Mrs. Hart actually dead? We'll find out. Alright, guys. Last review for the week, because no Penguin. Like I said, that will be airing on Sunday, so I'll be reviewing that and Agatha following here on from here on out. So let's talk about Transformers 1. So Transformers 1 came out this past week. Stars Chris Pratt, Brian Tyree Henry, Keegan-Michael Key, Scarlett Johansson. Those were the only 4 people I knew who were actually in the movie. I actually forgot that Scarlett Johansson was in it, because I haven't seen her in like any of like the promo stuff. I've just been seeing Hemsworth because he's Orion Pax, and Brian Tyree Henry is in it as what is his damn name? D16. And we see Keegan-Michael Key as B-127. So this is an origin movie that takes place completely on Cybertron, with Orion Pax being a minor bot without a cog, who is friends with D16. Movie starts with Orion in the archives, which is forbidden, looking up the history of Energon and the Primes. So he's running away from the cops, and he gets away with the help of D16, who convinces him to go in the races, which I can never remember the name of. There's a lot of cameos in here, like Jackson's a miner in here. Alita 1 is their boss in the mining, in the mines, and Orion gets her fired because he went back for Jax. So they join this. Orion and D27 joins this race where they almost win, but they end up losing because D gets hurt and Orion refuses to leave him behind. So Sentinel Prime shows up, gives them all these accolades, and this one robot who's got beef with Orion puts them down to like the lower levels of I think it's like level 50, and they didn't even know level 50 existed. It was just level 40, and that's where they meet B-127, who was basically down there by himself going stir crazy to the point where he made 3 friends out of scrap metal. And they find a distress signal from Alpha Trion, who's one of the primes who revealed the location of the Matrix leadership. So they all sneak up to the surface, and they come across Alita, who is on garbage duty. And Alita gets ready to snitch on them, but they stop her, and they all end up on the surface. And they find out that Sentinel Prime betrayed the Primes, who, and also Sentinel Prime ain't even a real Sentinel. I mean, not a real Sentinel. He's not even a real Prime. And he betrayed them to work with their enemies, the Quintessence. He's been giving them energon on the regular, and he obviously has not been keeping up with the supplies, so he's got all the Cybertronians working overtime to appease their new masters. Alpha Trion gives them all cogs, they learn to transform, and D16 slowly starts to break bad while they start to make their way towards Cybertron. They actually bump into Starscream, who is the leader of the Cybertronian High Guard, who's actually voiced by Steve Buscemi. They also come up against Shockwave and Soundwave. Y'all just go see this movie. This movie was amazing. I'm telling you a good majority of the movie, and I said I was gonna stop doing that, but I really gotta stop doing that. But it was really good. I enjoyed it. My friend Ken didn't really like it as much, like some of the voice choices he didn't really rock with. Like Keegan-Michael Key, I get that, because they just basically had Keegan-Michael Key being Toad in the Super Mario Brothers. Like, they just made Bumblebee not be Bumblebee. Yeah, he's not Bumblebee right now, he's B-127, but still, he was just too hyped for everything. Like, they even showed in the trailer when he gets the blade hands. I got blade hands! This place was like that already, right? But on the scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it a 9. I will definitely see it again, but it was amazing. Like I said, guys, check it out. So that was this episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. I am your host, Bernard. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Next week, episode 4 of Agatha All Alone, as well as episode 2 of The Penguin. Stay frosty, and like I said, see you next week. Peace.